This week, I'm taking you along with me for a realistic weekly cooking vlog as someone who hates meal prep, but is also on a strict budget. I just got back from Trader Joe's. I spent $47, and a few of those items are not going to be used for the meal prep, but I wanted to just show you what I got. So first, for the vegan chorizo pasta, I got some of this soy rizo, cherry tomatoes, yellow squash, basil, and a red bell pepper. So whenever I don't know what to make for the week ahead, I usually rely on a 3-part system, and that includes one veggie bowl, one pasta bake or some kind of a comfort meal, and then a takeout copycat. My veggie bowl is going to be a veggie bowl with some roasted assorted veggies, which I'll show you in a minute. My pasta dish is going to be that chorizo pasta. And then my takeout copycat, some homemade pizza. Going back to the veggie bowl, I've been eating pretty badly lately. I've mostly just been snacking throughout the day and not really eating meals that are nourishing. So I'm going pretty heavy on the vegetables. I've got some French beans, baby corn, which I thought was really interesting, broccoli, cauliflower, beets, which these are delicious roasted up, Japanese sweet potatoes. Now, fun fact about me, I'm actually not a fan of sweet potatoes, but I have been having the most unusual craving for them. I thought I would give them a try. I've heard that the Japanese sweet potatoes are a little bit better. Supposedly the texture is a little bit better, and I'm really excited to try these out. And then, like I said, I also got some extra items. I got a block of tofu just because it's one of my grocery staples and it's just nice to have it. And I also got a bag of onions, 2 cucumbers. So it's currently Wednesday night, so I didn't set aside the time that I should have to meal prep, but this is again me just showing you how I integrate healthy cooking and meal prepping into my weekly schedule. So my plan tonight is to cook a huge batch of this chorizo pasta, and then for the Nourish bowl, all I have to do is throw these sweet potatoes in the oven, roast them, let them get nice and tender, and I will just store them in the fridge, and every day for lunch I'm gonna eat one of them. And the nice thing for the Nourish bowl is you basically just chop up all of the veggies, throw on some seasonings, and roast them in a pan. So the idea is this bowl would have a ton of vegetables, some kind of grain, and a very, very delicious sauce. I'm gonna do a lemon tahini sauce. It's a very delicious sauce that just goes great with everything. So I'm actually gonna first get started on the chorizo pasta because that's what we're gonna eat for dinner tonight, and it's already almost 7 o'clock, so I do need to get that done pretty soon. So for that, like I said, just chopping up all of the veggies, getting the pasta boiling, and there's not really a sauce to put together because these cherry tomatoes are gonna cook down into a sauce, and the chorizo is gonna add a ton of flavor. So that's gonna be sort of the sauce for the pasta. And then I'll top it up with this fresh basil. While the pasta is cooking and I'm already chopping the veggies for the pasta, I'm going to start chopping the veggies for the veggie bowl as well. And while all of this is happening, I will also be preheating my oven so that the oven can preheat while I'm cooking the other ingredients. So this is kind of how I like to maximize my efficiency in the kitchen. I just finished chopping all the veggies, so I've got some garlic, serrano. I actually found this in the fridge and it needed to be used up, so I'm glad I caught that. An onion and the red bell pepper, and then the squash. I've got a pot heating. This is the same pot that I cooked the pasta in, so we're saving on some dishes. I'm going to first saute this soy rizo, then I'll add in the onions and the garlic and the serrano. I'll throw in the red bell peppers, and then the squash will be at the end. So I'm gonna get all of that going, and then when that's done, I will start on the veggie bowl. So I'll see you then. After I ate dinner last night, I was exhausted. And this is a classic example of me overestimating what I can get done in a single weeknight. And this is something that happens quite often, where I'll make plans to make a bunch of meals in one sitting, and that just does not happen. I'm sure there are some of you out there who can relate to this, but as much as I would love to be a meal prep girly, that's just not who I am. So I decided to put away all the veggies last night and make the veggie bowl for lunch the following day instead. So here I am just chopping up the sweet potato and rest of the veggies, getting that in the oven and roasting that up. And so this is a good reminder to not beat yourself up if you can't do everything that you set out to do. The best thing you can do is just keep moving forward and pick back up the next day. Now I'm making that delicious lemon tahini sauce, and it's so easy. All you do is mix together some tahini, lemon juice, garlic and onion powder, and dried dill. Add salt to taste, and I like to thin it out with water until it's just the right consistency. This sauce is so good and makes any roasted vegetable taste 1,000 times better, so I definitely recommend trying this out. I did decide that I didn't want to make too big of a portion of the Nourish bowls because it's really hard for me to enjoy the same leftovers more than 2 or 3 days max in a row. So I decided instead to make a vegetable biryani using the leftover veggies. And it turned out so good, and I'm actually about to heat up some leftovers of that. You'll notice as I get into this video that I do have a lot of different ideas for meals in my back pocket, ready to go whenever I want to make a meal. This is something that I've been working on for years, and I've gotten good at it just by experimenting with making different meals and understanding what vegetables and flavors work well together. For example, I could have easily turned the green beans and baby corn into some kind of Asian stir fry. It's just that I happen to be wanting more of an Indian flavor, so I decided to go with the biryani instead. And learning how to make a lot of different types of dishes and cuisines has really prevented me from feeling like I have to order takeout all the time. And here is my plate. I heated up the biryani. With that, I've got some tofu. I just cubed up the tofu and boiled it in some salted water. It's not exactly the best thing in the world, but I just need to get some protein with this meal, so I decided to add it that way. I've also got some vegan raita, which is a yogurt side that's eaten with meals. It's pretty similar to a tzatziki. So I'm starving, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat this, and I will see you this evening. It is now 6 o'clock and time to start prepping dinner. So this is the dough that I prepped a couple of days ago for my sourdough pizza. I'm gonna try to finish it off tonight. It's already been sitting in the fridge for 2 days now, which is perfect. As you can see, it has a lot of nice bubbles, which means it's well fermented. And that's the key when it comes to sourdough. And in case any of you are new to the idea of sourdough, sourdough mostly just refers to that starter that's made with fermented flour and water, which is what allows the bread to rise in the first place. So it's really just a substitute for yeast that you would buy from the store. And then the key difference with sourdough is that it does take a lot longer to make things with it. So for example, I actually put this dough together Sunday afternoon, and today is Tuesday evening. It's barely now ready to be used. If I had tried to use it on Sunday, the dough would have just come out really gummy and it wouldn't have had any rise to it. So you do have to let sourdough doughs ferment for a lot longer than you would yeasted doughs. Okay, so I told you guys this was going to be a realistic vlog, and it is realistic for sure because I just looked in the fridge and unfortunately my green beans aren't looking too good. Looks like we're gonna have to figure out a way to use this up tonight. Alright, I have just the right veggies to make a vegetable korma, which is another really delicious, comforting Indian dish. And I have been on a little bit of an Indian food kick lately. And a korma is just a bunch of different vegetables simmered in a very rich, creamy, flavorful sauce. And it's one of those dishes where you can really put in whatever you want. The one thing that I am going to add in that's not traditional is broccoli. And that's because I actually didn't end up using the broccoli for the Nourish bowl either. So I have quite a bit of broccoli that needs to be used up. And I did put some of the baby corns in the biryani, but I still have quite a bit left. And then I did have some carrots in the fridge. So I'll be using those as the base vegetables, and then still have a good amount of grape tomatoes left over. with me because I'm a little all over the place tonight, but I've just finished making the korma and oh my gosh, it smells so good. And I had a little taste and it's so delicious, and I don't know if I can just put it away and have it later. So, slight change of plans. I'm actually going to attempt to use that sourdough pizza dough and make some kind of flatbread to eat with the korma. So let's do that right now, and then we can enjoy a delicious dinner. Delicious way to use up vegetables that were about to go bad and make a dish that truly tastes like it was from a restaurant. It is now Wednesday, so it's been exactly a week since I bought all of those groceries, and I'm happy to report that I've used up most of the items that I bought. I do have a decent amount of the basil left, and I know it doesn't look great right now, and that's my fault. I forgot to wrap this up in a damp paper towel and put it in the fridge, but it should be fine, just soaked in some iced water for a little bit. And the other items that are left over are the beets and the broccoli. I had a kind of a random idea for the beets that instead of making roasted beets, I'm planning on making a beet juice instead, because I have started to work out pretty regularly recently, and I've read that beets can give you a really good boost before a workout, so I do want to try that out. I also have a few carrots left over in the fridge, so I'm thinking a beet carrot juice would be really nice. And then outside of that, the only item that I have left over is this broccoli, and I think I'm just going to roast this up tonight. So my plan for the basil is to make an aglio e olio, which is a really delicious simple pasta dish that's just pasta noodles sauteed with some garlic and olive oil, and fresh basil really makes that taste over the top. I'm thinking some of that pasta with some roasted broccoli on the side and some kind of protein to go with that. So that'll finish up the broccoli tonight. Today for lunch, I'm gonna heat up some of the biryani, and I had actually frozen half of the batch of biryani into this reusable sandwich bag. You can kind of see I tried to create a little space here so that I kind of get like two separate rice cakes, if you will, out of it. But I'm really tempted to try those super cubes. I've been seeing so many videos go viral with people freezing meals in portions in those super cubes, and it's something I've always wanted to try out. So let me know if that would be interesting to you guys. I would love to give it a try. This is a situation where I really wish I had those super cubes. It would have been so much more effective to freeze the rice into 1 cup portions as opposed to now having to heat up an entire batch and not being sure if I'll actually be able to eat it all in one sitting. And that pretty much wraps up this week. Let me know if you enjoyed this style of video. This one was a lot more talkative. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.